Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to class. We've got some ladies here who do want to show themselves at 7:30 in the morning. Hopefully we can hear them and they can chat in. Anyway, we left off yesterday's class with, does anybody have any questions? Because usually at the end of the class, you run out of time and you don't have time to ask the questions that you want to ask. So Superman, you said you had something that you wanted to ask me?
Nothing particular yet. When you start the topic, then if any question comes up,
Okay.
definitely I'll ask that question.
What about you, Parveen?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You said you were going to write down some questions. Does anybody have any questions?
During the conversation, I will ask.
Okay. So what I wanted to continue with yesterday was basically the mindset and how we choose our food, and then get into how food works in our body. So when we talked about how we were raised with sugar and comfort food, that keeps our body in a very low vibration. And somebody had texted me and asked me what that meant. So what that means is our body vibrates on different levels. And if you look at from 0 to 1,000, 500 is where love and joy and happiness and gratitude, being thankful, that's sort of the level of the vibration. They say that Jesus was 1,000, vibrated at 1,000. So what happens is anything below 500, and this is like megahertz of vibration, then what happens is you're actually residing in a lower vibration, like anger, frustration, jealousy, all those sort of feelings and emotions that keep you down and keep you from not feeling joy. And food has a vibration as well. So when you eat cooked comfort food, fried, processed, all this stuff, it doesn't have a lot of vibration in it. It doesn't have any, living vibration. It's a low vibration. It keeps you down. And so when you put in this low vibration food into your body, when you're already in a low vibration state, like let's just say you're sad, you're grieving, you're, angry, you're lonely, all these lower vibrations. So you can't get out of that cycle. And what happens is when you eat this kind of comfort food, you feel good for a very short period of time, but then it pulls you down a little bit. A lot of people feel very lethargic after they eat comfort food. They want to rest and relax, or they just want to rest and sleep, actually. And so what raw plant-based food does is, because it's living, it's a living food, it's vibrating really high, and it helps when you eat this kind of food to elevate your vibration and sort of, go higher. And that's why yesterday when I was talking about, when you're not feeling well, really the worst decision to do is to reach for something that's a cooked or comfort food. And what I mean by comfort food, I'm sure you all know that it's bread, it's donuts, it's cookies, it's cakes, it's packaged food, it's fried food, it's, baked food, cookies, all these pastries, all this kind of stuff. And as Gail mentioned yesterday, it's so full of sugar. And so not only are you having this comfort food, but you're having this sugar overload, which is really a false sugar. It really, spikes your insulin really quickly, and then you drop just as fast. And so what happens is they figured it out. When your insulin spikes really high and then you drop, you're going to want another donut. So they're quite brilliant in how they have programmed or tried to program us to, eat this kind of food, because it just keeps you there. So how food works in your body is when you eat properly, and in my opinion, I'm talking raw plant-based food, when you're talking about high nutrient food, these foods, when you compare what raw food looks like to cooked food, it's day and night. Cooked food, look at your food. If you're eating a lot of cooked food, it's brown, it's beige, it's yellow, it's white. look behind me, look at the vibrancy of raw food. And the more vibrant the food is, the more nutrients it has in it. And also it has other things like antioxidants. So the other thing that I want to talk about is when I mentioned about how food works in your body, we have our cells, okay? And our cells need to be nourished. That's how everything works in our body. And what we have in our body is also called free radicals. And so these free radicals, I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember Pac-Man, but Pac-Man was like this circle with these jaws. And so what these—
I do.
Okay, we just dated ourselves, Adele. So what these free radicals do, we have these beautiful round circled cells, and they take chunks and bites out of these out of our cells. And so what happens is it also kind of affects our body in many ways. One of the major ways is aging. The more wrinkles you have, the more free radicals you have doing damage in your cells. So one of the things to combat free radicals is what's called antioxidants. So antioxidants actually gobble and eat free radicals. And when you look at raw food, it's full of antioxidants. And in my green drink, which program launches next week, and for those that I gifted, Green is the New Black, the book that I wrote, it's an ebook and audio. It will tell you that the main thing to do is to have your greens and then to top it off with fruits like that are high in antioxidants. I'm sure you've heard this word before and how people have put it together, high in antioxidants. That means that they're berries. Berries have the highest amount of antioxidants, and the darker they are, like look behind me, there's a blackberry and blueberry. It is darker than a raspberry or a strawberry. So if you have a choice, go for blueberries and blackberries, and then strawberries and raspberries. And that's just because you're giving your body an even extra boost. And so back to the live living food vibrating at a higher level, when you drink and eat this kind of food in its raw state, your body elevates, it vibrates higher, you're in a better mood, you start, being even more grateful and more, full of thankfulness and joy. It's really, you will never feel down or low or, a lower vibe when you're eating raw food. It just elevates you. Your energy level starts getting higher. Your vibrancy becomes much, higher as well. So that's one of the reasons for me when I started, just on a side note, when I started back in real estate, when I was a busy agent, and I would drive through these, drive-throughs and grab a coffee and a muffin, on my way to my open house, thinking that was going to nourish me. Well, you know what? It didn't. It did for a very short period of time. And now, anywhere I go, I take my, green drink or my smoothie, which, we'll talk about later. And it just gives me a burst of energy. The one thing you should not do is have a green drink before you want to go to bed, because you gotta, well, unless you need energy, but, usually you don't want to have a green drink late in the day. It's more in either the morning or mid-morning where you need that boost. And most people, Olivia, reach to coffee and, for that caffeine boost. And so, my ebook that I wrote, Green is the New Black, really explains about how coffee is such a false stimulant. I mean, it's the FDA has admitted that it's addictive and it's a drug. And that's why you see a lot of people, there's like road rage lining up for Tim Hortons sometimes. And you wonder why. That's why. So food really is important. The fuel that you choose, the food that you eat is really important on how it works with the body. And I'll just break down a couple of things. Our digestive system, and you guys should answer this question, and maybe I should ask you guys, do you remember how long it was? Your intestinal tract, how long it was, your small and your large? Anyway, we won't get into the numbers. It's quite large. and it's larger than an animal's. So when you look at like a dog's intestinal tract, typically it's 8 feet, ours is 24 to 32 feet. So when they eat raw meat, and I'm going to talk about meat now, their digestive system is really quick. Okay, in and out is really fast. The second thing that they have is they have very, very, very strong digestive juices, which really can break down meat. Ours are not as strong. And the other thing is their digestive juices, which of course start in our mouth first, starts to work right away. And so what happens is in our body, that meat takes 24 to 48 hours for it to go through the body. And because it's not efficient and because it's not effective in breaking down our bodies, personally, I don't believe our bodies are even built for meat. And there's many reasons, and that's another main topic that I'm going to get into when we do full coaching. But what happens is our meat does not get digested properly. And so it starts to turn into toxins. And so the toxins leak within our body, and that's how disease and ailments start. The other thing with meat is it causes inflammation in the body. So anybody that has a sore back, sore joints, their knees hurt, their hips hurt, they are probably eating a little bit too much meat or meat products. And also dairy causes all that as well, as far as inflammation. So matching food to how your body works is really important. It needs to have really high nutrients to function. It needs to have, you know, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all of that stuff. And plant-based has all of these things in it. And again, I'm going to reiterate, it's organic food, because with organic food, it hasn't been sprayed. It doesn't have any toxins on it, chemicals, pesticides, all that kind of thing, which if you eat conventional food, which means non-organic, you're inhaling all of that stuff as well, which wreaks havoc inside your body. So at this point, does anybody have any questions? Parveen?
I think, I don't know, but anyway, maybe in the coming time, raw food, you mean not to eat any cooked food at all? Any vegetable, steamed vegetable or nothing like that?
Well, listen, you know what? There's several ways to, I'm just gonna put this on speaker view. There's several ways that you can warm your food when it's raw. You can use a dehydrator. As long as you don't go higher than 118 degrees, it keeps it in its raw state. Our conventional ovens do not give us that option. The other way, what I do to warm my food, believe it or not, is I just put it on my heating source. I have forced gas. I just put it on the heater for a little bit, and it's wonderful. I do my stir fries that way. And the other thing, as far as heating, unfortunately, we're getting into winter, but in the summer, you could put some stuff outside, and it really warms it up. It's really nice. Parveen, most of our food, when it is cooked, by the time it comes to us, it's actually lukewarm. And that's what raw food is basically lukewarm. You know, when I make my salads and things like that, I eat it at room temperature. I put it in the fridge, but I'm so used to room temperature that when I take my salad back out, like let's say that I've marinated something like a tomato salad or a cucumber salad, I leave it on my counter for a little bit to get climatized and get back to room temperature. And that's the other thing. Our body does really well with room temperature when it's.
There are, VeRAWonica, some of the thought process is this one. They say, don't eat any cold food. It's better to drink warm water, or it's better to drink. A lot of, I think, theories about Chinese people, Japanese people. They don't eat because they eat warm water. They don't drink cold water.
Yeah. What happens when your body craves cold water or craves hot water or hot food? It means your adrenal glands are taxed, and the adrenal glands is where you have your stresses. So when your body is stressed, like you might not feel stressed emotionally, but when your body is stressed, it will trigger desire for cold food. For cold drinks and for hot drinks. So lukewarm is good. I'm just telling you the optimal way is room temperature. if you can keep your water at room temperature, you know, I have a pitcher on my counter of spring water. I also have, stones in there, like I have emeralds and crystals and things like that, which just, because water is live and living. I don't know if you've ever heard of, there's a Japanese fellow, and I can't remember the name right now, but he wrote a book about water, and putting like a sticky note of on like, I hate you on a glass of water. And then on the other water, he put, I love you. And then he froze that water and looked at these snowflakes. And the one that said, I hate you, the snowflake was not, it was kind of deformed. And so water absorbs energy too. And that's why I only drink spring water, because it's live living water. And, you know, you want to put that in your body. So again, listen, if you were in a spring and, you know, in the Alps drinking that water would be cold. Okay. But
There's another water, I don't know what they call it, Kaizen or something.
yeah, I don't know enough about that. I have been sent information about that. I really don't know enough about it. I've read a lot about water, alkaline water, spring water, reverse osmosis. And for me, I opt for spring water because it is, like I said, live and living water. I've given you guys links to that as well, to Parvane and Superman a long time ago when we talked about water. But again, room temperature, natural state. I mean, when you think of, you know, like, we should be eating the food in the way that God created it in its most natural state, you know. And what we have been doing is we have been playing with food for a long time by cooking it and all this kind of stuff. And as I said, in the wild kingdom, nobody cooks their food. So
Right.
for me, a fast way to get a lot of, you know, stuff behind me into me is by a green drink and by a smoothie. And I also top it up with a lot of supplements. As great as organic farming is, you know, our environment has really polluted, you know, our planet in many, many ways. And so I also do supplementation, which again, in my long-term coaching, supplements going to probably be 2 weeks, because there's a lot to know about supplementation and how to supplement, when to supplement. And, you know, like right now I'm like literally drinking my vitamin B and vitamin C, which is in liquid state, because vitamin C is, and vitamin B is water soluble. So you have to have it with water and away from food. So there's many things to know about when to take your supplements, how to take your supplements. So that's, again, that's another, you know, that's a very intense couple of days on that one. But back to you, Parveen, about the temperature of food. Listen, I'm just explaining to you how food works in your body. When you cook it, you do not have as many nutrients in that food that's going into your body. So you will have to compensate and put and put more nutrients into your body to compensate that. The other thing is how cooked food affects you emotionally is it doesn't vibrate as high as raw plant-based food. So your moods will be affected. You'll have lower energy, you know, you'll be tired. You just don't have that vitality that just oozes out of your body. I mean, you know, like get up and go kind of thing. And, you know, a lot of my friends have always asked me, how do you have so much energy? Like, I have a tenant, and my washing machine broke. So we were downstairs, and he said, I heard you at 6 o'clock in the morning bouncing and singing. And he goes, what 64-year-old does that at, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning? And he goes, you have so much energy. And I said, yes, I do. And I have to say, it's because of my food style. It's all of this glorious food that you see behind me. I mean, it's just, I look at other people's plates when I go to restaurants, and I don't see any color. Like, they might have a sprig of broccoli as decoration, and they don't even eat that. They put it on the side of their plate. So, and when I order, I have people that say, you know, that wasn't on the menu. And I said, no, I asked them to make that for me. And it's vibrant. So think about food as vibrancy and how it's going to create your body to be vibrant. When you look at these colors that are dull and dark, your body's going to kind of react the same way. Remember, I said yesterday, you are what you eat. So you have to be really aware of what you put in your body. So we're almost running out of time. Does anybody have any other questions? Superman, do you have any? Gail, Adele, Olivia?
I wrote down questions.
Oh, good.
How long and how do you transition to a raw diet? How long did it take you and how did you do that? Did you just say from today, that's it? Or did you do it I vaguely remember you said you did it gradually, but I can't.
Yeah, I mean, that's another topic. That would be a very, very long topic, but the Reader's Digest short version is it does take time. And the only thing that I can say to everyone is start with, if anything, just start with a green drink a day. Put some greens in a Vitamix or a blender, 3/4, 1/4 berries, and add coconut water if you need some sweetness. I mean, people cannot drink my green drink because I put dandelions, I put very bitter vegetables in there because bitter is better. Bitter activates the vagus nerve, which then stimulates detoxification in your liver and your kidney. So a green drink will give you very quick energy. If it does not, then you're really plugged.
So what do you put in your green drink?
Well, you may have to purchase my ebook, or I might give it to you, Adele. I'll figure that out.
Oh, you know what? You gave it to me. I have it.
Okay, then dig it up, and it has recipes in there. I have have a whole lot of varieties of how you can do it. And yeah, so I'm just saying, start slowly. Have a salad a day. I'm coming out with a new program called One Day Renew to a New You. And it is step by step what food you have to buy. It talks about how you need to prep your food and what to eat for one day being raw. If that's too advanced, then just stick with one raw salad, one raw apple, one raw banana. Like, just have stuff raw and just start really slowly. It does not happen overnight. And again, Adele, the most important thing is the mindset. You know, you have to really be connected with what you're eating and how your body is working and how it's going to react, and also what you're going to be putting in your body and how it affects your body. So you have to make that connection first. And on Thursday, we're going to be talking about what to eliminate out of your diet, because it's not what you put in your diet, it's really what you take out of your diet. That
sounds good.
Yeah, so stay tuned. That's Thursday. And today, as I said yesterday, and I'll repeat it, please, in your homework or for yourself, buy yourself a journal and write down the vision of who you want to be and how you're going to feel when you are that person, and write down some affirmations that start with, you know, I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful, I'm so happy now that I am fit, now that I'm healthy inside and out, now that I have a strong immune system, you know, now that I'm full of energy and vitality. And start reading these things to yourself over and over again to get that into your subconscious mind. And by that, by shifting your mindset and starting to think about, you know, how this is connecting with you, then you're going to start going, hey, I'd rather have this than that. You know, I'd rather have, you know, like if they give you a choice, would you like French fries or a salad? You may opt for a salad the next time around rather than the French fries. So it's by making small decisions and making small choices. And as we are taught, I'm with these two guys in a Billionaires Club. It's a mastermind club that we're every single day in. And one of the things that is really of value to us is every single thing, every decision that you make brings you closer to, you know, the vision of yourself or what you want. And you can either
I have one question. I think
Sure.
you advising that don't drink the green drink in the evening, but you are giving the wrong advice. Superman need 2 or 3 green drinks.
That's why I said, unless of course you need energy for the evening. I bypassed that because I
Tell
didn't
him,
get into it.
something more concentrated.
That's another topic.
You need 3 or 4 in the evening.
He's right.
I just want to let leave this by saying to everybody that every decision either pushes you towards your goals or away from them. Okay, so think about what you're doing, think about where you want to go. And I hope everybody joins us tomorrow. What's on the schedule for tomorrow? Tomorrow is no, sorry, that was yesterday. How can we effectively make change mentally for better eating habits? So stay tuned. I'm going to try to figure out this Zoom thing, but if I can't, I'm gonna send you all a fresh link. Okay? And unless Parveen knows something I don't know, then just stay tuned, and I'll see you 7:30 sharp. And I hope I can see you ladies tomorrow. The men want to see you. And if not, put a picture on it. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Okay,
for
bye.
now,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining in, everybody. Have a RAWmazing day.